You're listening to Big Blend Radio's English Connection Show with Glynn Burrows, owner of Norfolk Tours. Welcome, everyone. This Saturday with Glynn, we get to talk about sponge cake because it is National Sponge Cake in America. But I know sponge cake from being in England, living there. It's Sponge Cake Day. Every August 23rd is Sponge Cake Day. It also happens to be National Eat Dessert First Month, which I did today. Glynn's going to love this. And it's also brownies at brunch month. So we have an excuse to have brownies, maybe some champagne and bacon on the side. What do you think, Glynn?
No.
See, Glynn, and I have to thank Glynn, and we all should, in advance. He's not a person about sweets, or he does not have a sweet tooth. And when it comes to scones, it's always a cheese scone, or is it a scone? But he's doing this just for you. And just for his guests that come to England through Norfolk Tours, the company that he runs. If you want to go on an all-sweets tour, you would do it, right?
I'd take them, but don't expect me to eat it. That's
Okay.
The main thing.
Well, I'm excited. I did start my day out with coffee, and I still have it. I have another cup of coffee. I'm drinking a lot of coffee lately.
Okay.
So I'm a little hyper. But guess what? This is also going to mean why I'm so yippee this morning. Guess what we had for breakfast this morning?
I just can't imagine. You eat such funny things over there.
Well, normally it's pizza.
I can't believe you'd have pizza for breakfast.
Sure. Now, this morning, a chocolate donut. See, come on, Glynn.
Honestly.
Come on.
It's just
and you can have bacon on the side, and it's wonderful.
A bacon and chocolate donut.
The bacon was on the side, but it was...
You ruin a good piece of bacon. You really do.
Okay. So what about Canadian bacon, since you've been to Canada, versus bacon?
I like everything I tried in Canada. I love the people in Canada, and I love the food that I tried in Canada. I didn't try any desserts because I don't like desserts.
Okay, but it is Sponge Cake Day.
Well, I wouldn't try sponge cake, I'm afraid. I'm very, very naughty when I'm talking about sponge cakes, and I don't eat them. But there you go.
Do you eat custard?
I talk about Mr. Whippy, and I don't eat Mr. Whippy either.
You don't eat Mr. Whippy, everyone. The wonderful soft serve ice cream of England. You don't eat a Mr. Whippy ever.
Right, not terrible.
And this is just such a wonderful episode. But sponge cake, there is this wonderful texture of a sponge cake. And when we talked about doing this podcast, all these memories of England and even South Africa and Kenya came back to me as a child, because England, South Africa has a lot of British food, right?
Of course.
And what I realized how much I miss certain things like sponge cake, jelly rolls. Do you remember the jelly roll? Now, I don't think you call it a jelly roll, but it's a cake. They take a flat cake and they roll it up with jam in the middle. Jam roll? Jam cake?
Swiss roll.
Swiss roll, yes, that's right. But that's normally chocolate with a little cream on the inside. Then it got to jelly or jam somewhere.
A proper Swiss roll is just a vanilla cake with jam in the middle, and you roll it up, and then you dust it with icing sugar.
The icing sugar.
That is what it is, just that. But Christmas time, you have one with cream. You have a chocolate cake with cream, and then you pour melted chocolate over the top of it, so it looks like a log, like a piece of wood. And
the angels start to sing as you do.
Yeah, well, it's a bit early for angels, I'm afraid. We don't get many in August. But yes, it's the chocolate log that you get at Christmas time. It's called a Yule log. Look it up. IULE log. And then that's a very, very nice thing to have at Christmas.
It is. I did. And I love it. And I want it any time of year, even in August. So in my mind, I can have my angels pouring chocolate over my Yule log in August and enjoy it. No?
I'll let you do that.
This is probably one of the funniest podcasts we've ever done over all these years, over a decade of these. And it's just sitting there going, no, no, no. And I'm all, yes, 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 bring the sugar. No. Okay. So cheese scones, yes. Now, would you ever put jam on your cheese scones?
Funnily enough, the other week when I had two lady guests over from Encinatas, is that where it is? Encinatas? In California, they wanted to try a cheese scone, and one of them said, can you have jam on this? And I said, in no way can you have jam on a cheese scone. And she said, well, I'm going to try it. So she tried it and she said it was lovely. And the young lady behind the counter came out and looked at her to make sure she ate it because she couldn't believe she was having jam on a cheese scone. But she said it was lovely.
Well, what's with the clotted cream thing? I never understood this part
Well,
of
no,
it.
that's what you have with the fruit scone. You have fruit scone, clotted cream, and jam. And that is a real Cornish tradition. And that is a really, really
But
thick cream.
yeah, I'm out. With the creams and the custards, that's where, and the trifles, I'm
Well,
out.
I love the cream, but not with the jam because it's not sweet. It's just
Okay.
it's just a natural cream, and that's lovely. But obviously, it's not good for the figure,
No,
as you can tell.
I don't need any. So when we come to see you in England, I'll order the scone with the fruit and the jam, and I will turn around and give you the cream for
Yeah,
your
okay.
scone.
I'll just eat the cream. That'd be good.
You just eat it.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's lovely. It's
Okay.
like
Now what?
it's a bit like butter. Really, it's that thick.
See, the only dairy I do is butter and cheese and ice cream.
Well, there you go. Clotted
That's it.
cream is very good.
Sour cream is okay too. I don't know what you call it over there. Butter. Do you call it sour
Sour
cream?
sour cream.
Yeah. Okay. So now going back, trifle. You did not put this in your article, and everyone, Glynn even wrote an article. Look how much he does for guests.
Oh
So
yeah,
this is, I love this. He actually did this, and he talks about all the different things that you can enjoy in England, including spotted dick. You did. You talked
I
about it.
did. I
You
had
had
to
to.
mention spotted dick. One of my customers was so impressed with spotted dick that he had to buy some and take it home for his friends for Christmas. He thought it was amazing. But yeah, I mean trifle. You mentioned trifle. Yeah, I mean trifle is such an old-fashioned thing. You don't see it about very much now, but it's used to be so popular
When I
because it's
was in England, as a
yeah,
little girl, it was a big deal.
yeah. You line a dish with pieces of sponge cake, and then you pour jelly on top of that, and then you pour tinned of fruit, or if you've got any fresh fruit, you can put fresh fruit on the top. Then you pour on custard, and you let that set, and then you pipe cream all over the top of it. And then you sprinkle hundreds and thousands of multicolored sugar strands on the top of that. And then you eat it. And don't forget to soak your sponge cake in sherry. That's what we do at
But
Christmas.
didn't they also do like the lady fingers or whatever? Those
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what you do if you're posh, as we say.
That's the
You
posh
you
trifle.
do it with the sponge fingers. But if you're common like me, you make your own sponge and just break it up into pieces, soak it in sherry. Depends how much sherry you want to have,
Well,
and
just
then
give me that part. The rest of it,
just the
you can.
sherry. Yeah. Well,
And the cake. I don't mind if it's soaked up in a cake. That's okay.
that's what a lot of the ladies do at Christmas time. They just put a little bit of sherry in, and then they drink the rest out of the bottle. You see?
While they're cooking. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You see everybody at the church bake off. They're all in the church kitchen baking, and suddenly you just hear a lot of giggling, and
Yeah.
the girls,
They're
they
on the
did. Yeah, they're on the sherry. Exactly. It's a rare, like it's rare to find sherry. Like some of in New Mexico, you'll find sherry because they have such a Spanish
yeah,
influence.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
sherry used to be the ladies' drink, but now you don't. You only have it at Christmas time, really. That's
and
all we.
baking.
But it's mainly Christmas. So we're
Mhm.
talking about Christmas today. Why are we talking about Christmas?
I don't know. Why not? But I wanted to ask you, do you eat trifle?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, we're on the same. Do you eat custard at all?
No.
Okay. Is this a yes, no? This is just the no, no, and
It's
no
just a
show.
yes, no.
You know what I loved about living in England was the game shows. You guys
Oh
had the
yeah,
best game shows where
yeah,
suddenly like somebody said something wrong and a whole thing of mushy peas would come down on them. Or here's a trifle on your head if you got
yeah,
it
yeah.
wrong. You know what I mean? So that's where I think trifle belongs. Honestly, I'm glad it's gone. But in this country, back in, I don't know, the 50s, 60s, or I don't know, they did the Jello mold things with carrots and whatever. But yeah, carrot, they olives. No, don't. I wasn't here, you know, for that.
No,
So I'm glad. But I wanted to talk to you about carrot cake.
yeah.
This to me is very exciting because it's one of my favorite dishes of all time is
Yeah.
carrot cake.
Yeah,
because it's not overly sweet.
my son-in-law, he loves carrot cake. In fact, when Verity and him got married, one of the tiers on the wedding cake was carrot cake.
Mm.
The bottom tier was a fruit cake, a Christmas cake, every good Christmas again. The middle tier was a carrot cake, and the top tier was a sponge cake. But the carrot cake was specially for Bob because he loves carrot cake, and
Yeah.
it is really, really popular. But that came about because of the lack of sugar during the Second World War, mainly because they needed something to sweeten things up with, and carrot is quite a sweet vegetable, as is parsnip and beet. Beetroot
Mm.
is quite a sweet vegetable, so they use that in cakes as well. So
Mm.
it's quite funny what you do find. But yeah, carrot cake is really popular.
So is that a British thing? Carrot cake, do you think?
Well, I don't see it anywhere else when I've been abroad.
Here,
You
here,
have it in America.
that could
Don't
have come from you.
I
Yeah.
don't but I know it came about, the popularity of it came about because of the lack of sugar during the Second World War.
That's interesting because we look at bread pudding from
Yeah,
that time frame, right? Bread
yeah,
pudding
yeah.
and then rice pudding.
Yeah. Yeah, well, rice
I'm with
pudding.
you. I'm gonna do the yeah on both bread pudding, rice pudding.
Yeah, but bread and butter pudding is really popular because it's so filling, because you've got the bread and you've got the fruit and the custard. So it's really quite a filling sort of dessert. And, a rice pudding as well is a very, very filling dessert. And a lot of these things were done because, milk was relatively cheap or free if you lived on a farm. Rice was really cheap. So actually, that was a very cheap dessert, and it was very filling because of the stodginess of the rice. And it was quite good for you because it's got milk in it. So a lot of these things are done because people needed sustenance for very little money. And what these things were for, using up old stuff like the bread and butter pudding was actually to use up stale bread.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of these things were done.
Well, in South Africa, they had oma biscuitjies. Oma is grandmother in Dutch, and
Yeah.
biscuitjies is biscuits. So what they did, they made rusks. That was a brand name of
Right.
who made these, and they made rusks, which was dry bread, and then it became like a product, right? So in the back in the day, it was like dry hunks of bread, but they put marmalade in it, and I love marmalade.
Right.
And I don't want it as sweet. So I'm kind of with you on some of that, Glenn. But I got a sweet tooth, but I want spice with my sweet tooth. And I need to talk to you about fruit chutney because there's something, apparently
Oh,
I'm missing fruit chutney quite a bit.
oh,
But
right.
the marmalade in the rusks. So Oma's biscuitjies, you dunk the rusks, which is like it's like if you look at a loaf of bread and it's divided in twelfths, like just little things, and you dunk it in your coffee, and then I do you're not liking this already. This is the most hysterical show. Like most people are going, ooh, sweet this, sweet that. This is not happening. But anyway, you're giving me the giggles. You dunk the rusk into your coffee, and then you kind of suck on the coffee out of anyway, it's
That's how the French eat their French stick at breakfast time. They actually dunk their French stick in the coffee in the mornings. Well, they used
yeah.
to when I used to go to France a lot. My
But
mate always used to eat his bread like that.
I know. And then at the bottom, you get all these bitsies. And that, to me, the bitsies are not a friend of mine. I'm not good with the bitsies. The only bitsies I tolerate is in the bitsies at a bottle of good wine has bitsies in it, but at the bottom. But no, chunks
Yeah,
of bread in the bottom of your.
by the time you've got to the bottom of a bottle of wine, it doesn't really matter what it is.
It doesn't, because I just go, it's grapes. It's
Yeah,
okay, But okay, so go back for all those who really do have sweet tooths. Sorry, but England has some of the best candy. I got to bring this out. I know we're talking about cakes and desserts and things like that, but I mean, the candy that you have in England, the chocolate that you have in
yeah.
England, I mean, I would go just for that. The treacle pudding. Oh, come on. You don't like treacle pudding? It is some of the
Oh.
best gooey goodness.
I mean, the treacle
Oh,
sponge pudding is so filling. It's so simple. All you do is you put treacle in the bottom of a dish, a bowl, a steep
but
side.
we have treacle here.
Why? Why not? Golden
Just
syrup, it's lovely stuff,
well, they don't
Not
call it. Yeah.
all sugar. But anyway, you put your treacle in the bottom of a bowl, just put in a sponge, just a normal everyday sponge cake mixture, and then steam it. There's your
It's
dessert.
delicious.
You
It's
tip it
golden
upside down.
delicious.
You tip it upside down. The top of it is all treacly, and all the treacle
Mhm.
runs all down on the sponge. And then you serve it with custard, if you
No,
like custard.
no, without the custard.
Okay, so I'll just leave the custard on the side. You can serve it with ice cream. That is done as well.
Now I'm with you.
You
Now,
could have a Mr.
oh,
Whippy with it.
okay. So I was talking about this on another show. If you have a waffle in England, do you put ice cream on it? Because in South Africa, we put ice cream on it, and we'd have a waffle for breakfast with ice cream, or lunch,
We
or
don't
just dinner.
we don't normally have waffles in England that much. I mean, that's a very American thing that has only
I
just
think it's
recently.
Belgian more than anything.
Well,
I don't
it hasn't really taken off in England, a waffle,
know.
not that much.
What about pancakes?
Yeah, pancakes are something different, but
Are they like a crepe?
yeah, but also a Scotch pancake, which is a thicker pancake. My granddaughter, who's downstairs at the moment, she loves them at breakfast, and
Mm,
she has fresh fruit on the top of them, and then she just drizzles maple syrup on the top of them.
that's good.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm just going to check in because that's a little sweetness there. Okay. Now going back to desserts. Okay. I remember England and Wales. I'll never forget this one. In Wales, we were somewhere and they come up with this basket of meringues and cakes and all these goodies. And I don't know if it was like we went to a tea or what, but I was a little girl at the time, but I just was like, my eyes were like, look at all these meringues. So that's more of a European influence that comes into England, right? With meringues and all that. So you really, I mean, cakes and all of that are a big part of life.
yeah, yeah. I mean, meringues are still very popular. In fact, Eton Mess is a really popular dessert in England in the summertime. It has to be in the summertime, if you want fresh strawberries, because that's what it is. So you
Oh,
basically, if you can imagine, just a meringue that you've crumbled all up into lots of little pieces, whipped cream and diced strawberries, mix all of that together, and that is what they call an Eton mess. And that is just meringue, strawberries, and cream. And that
mm,
is really popular in the summertime because it's really sweet and it's also really refreshing because of the strawberries and cream.
I'll
Reminds
do it
me of
with ice
Wimbledon.
cream.
Wimbledon had strawberries and cream, you see. That's what we have at Wimbledon every year.
A- And when is strawberry season?
Strawberries in England is normally July. We used to just get the end of the strawberry season at the end of the school year, which is normally July. So
Mm.
strawberries, I mean, this year, well, everything's getting earlier. Strawberries were the beginning of July, but now
Okay.
we get strawberries all the time now, obviously.
So cake is a big deal. So the sponge cake is well known, but you also talked about in your article and everyone that's linked in the episode notes, boiled fruit cake. I remember that.
Yeah.
Uh, and okay, you did talk about brownies. So that's a
Yep.
millionaire's shortbread. You mentioned that. And I
Yes.
remember that name. So what's the millionaire's part? Because I remember that. I know I've had millionaire's shortbread. Is
Now
that just,
you've asked me something that I can't remember, but I
there's a
know I put it
shortbread.
in, it's a millionaire shortbread because there's more stuff in it than a normal shortbread. So it's got
Normally shortbread has nothing in it.
no. This has got other stuff. I think it's got chocolate on it as well. There are so many desserts. I mean, if you go into a proper English tea shop, just looking at the cakes, there'll probably be at least a dozen cakes to choose from.
Wow.
Probably be a dozen tray bakes, as we call them, which are little slices of different cakes and pastries. And then there'll be the pastries themselves, like your slices and the French call them millefeuilles. They're the little layers of
Oh,
pastry,
okay.
cream. It's just,
And the chocolate eclairs, I always remember chocolate
oh, yeah.
eclairs.
But you don't get them so
Oh,
much. You do, but not as much as they were in the 70s. They were really popular.
hmm.
Eclairs and choux buns were really popular in the 70s and 80s, but not so much now. You do still
Wow.
get.
So do we have like a sweet baked goods? What's fashionable at the time?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the things that have, because I trained as a chef, that
Yeah.
is my my actual profession is I'm a chef. And when I was
But
trained,
not a pastry chef.
no, I didn't like pastry chef. I used to like cooking soups and sauces and meat dishes, obviously. But the things that I learned about, and now you don't see them on a menu. You don't see flambés anymore. We used to
Oh,
do flambés at the table. You don't
yeah.
see it anymore. You don't see some of the main course dishes. You don't see some of the starter dishes. And also, what you do see is a big plate with a tiny little piece of food in the middle of it with a little piece of sauce, and that's called a meal.
And they
And
tell you how to eat it too.
yeah, we didn't do that. We had a
Yeah.
proper meal when I was learning to cook. We served proper food, not just what in some restaurants you go, the posher they are, the less you get, basically. And also sometimes you go to a place and they bring a plate out and you think they've just left the food crumbs on it, but that's your dinner.
And
It's
the
not
bill's
like
higher.
it's not used to be like that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's different now. It is. I remember, in England always do remember carrot cake now that I think of it. But I also remember like things like beef Wellington was always a big deal, like
Yeah.
those
Oh,
kind of basic, and hot pot
yeah,
roast,
yeah, hot
like
pot, beef
yeah,
stews, things like that.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean, you
and
do
dessert and cake was always a big deal. Like there was always like a Black Forest gâteau
yeah,
kind of that's always there. It's still
yeah.
that
No, you don't see that.
what?
No, you don't normally see a Black Forest gatto anymore.
What?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry to
Am I
disappoint
old now? I'm
you are.
old.
Yeah, you're showing your age.
My gosh. Now what are they doing? Drinking wheatgrass juice?
Look at all the different milks you can get, let alone all the drinks. I mean, really, when you look at what was common in the 70s and 80s when I was
Mhm.
cooking and what is around now, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I often laugh and say that if a vegetarian came into a restaurant that I was working in, they basically got offered a stuffed pepper, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that was about it.
Well,
You know,
or a baked potato. Here's your baked
or a baked
potato.
potato, yeah.
Yep.
But now, lots of restaurants, they have 1 or 2 dishes on every course that is a vegetarian
I
option.
like that though,
So do
because
I.
I like that because
And
I personally don't eat
sometimes
that much meat.
I have the vegetarian option. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do too. I like how we've progressed, but there's
Yes.
just certain things like Black Forest Gâteau, when it's really done well, is an experience to be had and with a really good cup of coffee. Like
Well
it's perfect.
well, you'll have to come back to England and open your own tea shop and make your own Black Forest gateaux.
And what about cheesecake? Does cheesecake get anywhere in England?
Cheesecake has sort of it's come up and down and up and down, and so I don't really know where it sits anymore. You
I
don't
this is
see so
I
many
would
cheesecakes.
I would think that would be something you may want to have since it's got, it's
Yeah.
cheese.
No, I don't have cheesecake. But, it goes in and out of fashion, I'm afraid.
So what about fruit? Do you like fruit at all? This is just I'm grilling
You're
Glenn
grilling
on
me
a
about
cooking
what
show.
I eat. I like grapefruit, and I also eat cooking apples, the really sour
The
one.
tart ones. Yeah, yeah, I like that too.
I love cooking apples.
Crab apples? Do you eat crab apples?
No, no,
I do.
no,
Unripe mangoes? I eat unripe mangoes. You're not
no,
supposed to, but I do. They're good.
I'm afraid not. So
Okay.
it's just cooking apples, I'm afraid, for me, generally.
No pineapple?
Dear, no.
Okay. Well, well, I hope everyone goes to England to enjoy some sweets because we did
Yeah,
such a good job on
just
this show.
Just I'm very happy to sit beside somebody eating whatever they want to eat. So don't let me make anyone think that I don't let you have a dessert because I let you have a dessert.
And you'll take you to the best dessert. Now,
I
okay, so you're
will.
talking about tea shops. Here
Yes.
is a question. So, do you have bakeries or are they always part of tea shops?
No, you have a bakery as well. Very often now. I mean, there was a time when all the old-fashioned bakeries were closing, but actually now we're getting quite a few of them opening up again
That's
because
great.
people want proper bread and cakes and, things that are made locally.
You
So
know
there
what?
are now
Yeah.
bakeries. Yeah, so it's good.
I remember brownies in England, brownies in South Africa, and then coming here to this country and going, that's not a brownie. And because over here they tend to overdo the sugar, and I don't know if it's like chocolate here is different. Milk chocolate is just, your teeth are going to fall out. There's this refined, it's the best way I can put it, so please don't get mad at me. I'm generalizing, everyone. But in England, when you got brownies, they were just, the flour was lighter. It was just, yet at the same time, it was dense but light. And the almonds, like sliced almonds, just gently, they weren't dry almonds. They're still moist, yet they still had a little life in them. I can't explain the difference when it comes to sweetness. And I know we have wonderful pastry chefs and bakers here that do these amazing things. But if you're talking about the general run of the mill stuff, everything is over sweet, over salt. Like, I wonder about our palates.
Yeah.
If we've
Well,
over
that is
something.
how I became so that I didn't like sugar. Because when I was about 12 or 13, I gave up having sugar in my coffee. And then things started to taste really sweet. So I then didn't eat sweet things. And now it's got to the stage that I don't like tomato ketchup, for instance, because it's got too much,
Sweet.
So I don't eat any sugar. I don't eat sugar. I
Well,
know there's
but that's healthy for you.
well, I mean, it doesn't do you any harm because you don't need sugar. But, it is how your palate can change. And
Mhm.
I don't add salt to my food when it comes on my plate. You
Mhm.
know, everybody generally used to just shake salt over their food when it arrived. I don't.
Before you even taste it. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I put a lot of salt on now is chips. And that's the only thing that I put a lot of salt on. I
and
don't
it's
put
good.
salt on anything else apart from tomatoes. I do like salt on my tomato or tomatoes, as you call them.
I just don't eat them.
I love them. I love. We,
Not fresh.
we've just had some out of the garden. They're lovely.
Mm-mm.
Have
No,
to agree to disagree. Well,
I know this is tomato, tomato, potato, potato. I'll eat them cooked. I love anything tomato based, but not raw tomatoes.
all right, okay.
It's a texture and it's a weird thing and it doesn't work. And I remember as a little girl, Nancy going, "You will eat your food. There's starving kids in China." You remember that? Now
Yeah,
don't say things like that, anybody. We don't
yeah.
do that now. But and then I proceeded to give them right back to her after I ate them. And she went, "Okay, I won't do that again." So it doesn't work with me. But yeah, isn't this what a funny conversation, Glenn? This is great. But England does have a lot of good sweets and you have the best licorice. Oh my gosh, the licorice. I
Yeah.
would go to England just to have that same Christmas I had with this licorice.
Yeah,
Lic
love
all sorts.
licorice. Yeah, licorice.
Licorice, all sorts. Oh, and Quality Streets. Quality Street, is it still around? Don't you dare tell
Is.
me it's okay.
No, you can still
We
get
still get the tins?
No, they're made of plastic now. And also, the Quality Street tin used to be about that big. I'm afraid it's about that big now. It's what you're finding in a lot of things now. They're not putting the price up, they're just shrinking them. So instead of the tin being this big for £6, the tin is that big and they're still £6. This is what they're doing.
Quality
Yeah.
Streets was good. And I remember at the Wimpy, oh my gosh, the Wimpy, you always got like a barley candy or something it tasted like barley, like a barley
A
candy.
barley sugar. Yeah. Barley sugar twist. It's like a sugar bar. And it used to be really popular. I don't know whether you can still get it. You probably
Oh,
can.
here we go. So I'm ancient again.
Yeah, I don't know whether you can get it, but you can get barley water, which is
Yeah.
a Robinson's drink, which is like a squash. So it's a concentrated liquid
Mm-hmm.
that you just add water to, and that's very refreshing. It's
Mm-hmm.
what you have in the summertime. It's what
It's
they
really
use.
good for your electrolytes. Yeah.
Yeah, they served that at Wimbledon as well.
Uh,
Yeah,
Well, do say no. So you get the barley water. I remember Ribena.
yeah, Ribena is still very popular.
We used
Yeah,
to we used
black
to have
currant
that.
juice.
Yeah, yeah.
Black,
But it's squash. I haven't heard that. So if you say squash here, that means squash the vegetable.
yeah, no. Squash in England is
Is it
a fruit concentrate
concentrate?
watered down with water.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ribena and whenever I had bronchitis, here came the Ribena.
Yeah, because the vitamin C, you see, that's what they all used to advertise. All the
The
fruit.
vitamin C?
Yeah, the vitamin C has got in Ribena because of the black currants.
And then the barley water was because of the glucose. They called it glucose water too, didn't they, at one point?
I don't know. We just used to call it barley water,
Hmm.
lemon barley water. That was
Okay,
the
so at the end of a
Trifle.
meal, Glynn, you and I are going to be the ones at the cheese table.
Definitely, I will be
We
at the
can.
cheese.
I'm with you. Okay, because that always wins, but I'll still have a piece of fruit with it because
Okay.
I'll eat your fruit for you. How about that?
Yeah, it's quite funny because now, generally speaking, in a restaurant, you get served your fruit, your cheese and biscuits with a stick of celery and a small bunch of grapes. So I normally give someone else the grapes, and I just eat the celery and the cheese.
When
So
did they start the celery thing in there?
I don't know.
That's different.
Yeah, I mean, celery goes with cheese, very much so. I don't know why they put
It's good
grapes.
for you.
Yeah, celery. Celery is one of the few foods that actually gives you so much exercise by eating it that actually the calories in it don't count
Oh, there you
because
go.
there's
Actually, though,
hardly any calories in it.
they say if you eat 2 stalks of celery a day, it helps regulate your blood sugar, your blood pressure, all kinds of things. It's good if you're diabetic. There are so many nutrients in 2 things of celery, and if you use that instead of salt in your cooking, you're not gonna have all the artificial kinda
Yeah,
styles. I mean, salt is
yeah.
salt, but then there's artificial style salt, but it's natural salt.
I do love celery,
Mhm.
especially we grow in this area, just a little bit north of where I live. We grow proper Fenland celery, and that is a beautiful celery. And whenever that's in season, you see it on the market with all the black soil around the bottom of the roots, and then you know you've got some good celery. Because the trouble is the celery that you grow in or you get from a supermarket is all clean. So that hasn't got the flavour that a proper Fenland celery has got. It's still
You
got
want
the
the dirt.
yeah, the dirt in the celery, after you wash it, obviously, but the dirt means that it's grown properly, not in some factory. I
Back
go
to
again.
that again. All
Yeah,
right, there we go. Well, on that note, everybody enjoy a cheese scone. And
yeah,
you can see Glenn's article in the episode notes. He does talk about sweets and
I do.
treats and all those wonderful things that we all enjoy, except for Glenn. But isn't
Yeah,
that lovely that you did something wonderful for those who want to go to England and do go to England? And I think I'm going to go have another donut, Glenn.
well, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, donuts are very. In fact, I think I've just left my family having their tea, and I think they're going to have a donut for their dessert at the moment. So there you go. You see, I'm not
Well,
missing.
power to the donut.
Yeah.
Everyone, Norfolk-tours.co.uk is the website for Glynn. Keep up with him there. He is here every fourth Saturday, and we do that at 12 p.m. Central Time. So check out his episodes there. Thanks so much, Glynn.
Thanks a lot. See you later, and hopefully, I haven't upset too many people today.
No, my sugar just is fine. Just need some more.
Good.
Thank you for joining us for Big Blend Radio's English Connection show with Glynn Burrows, owner of Norfolk Tours. If you're planning a vacation to England or looking up your family history in England, visit norfolk-tours.co.uk to connect with Glynn. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.